Hi, Janet Hughes from Photo Training by Janet Hughes. I wanted to do a quick video here to show you how to set up your publishing service for your hard drive. The main benefit to this is you don't have to do exports anymore to actually get your photographs out of Lightroom. It will do the export for you. The other thing that's nice about it is once those exports are done, if you make changes to your photographs inside of Lightroom, you can then go back and republish those settings and it will update those JPEGs for you without you having to do another set of JPEGs with the new changes to them. So here's how this works. To set this up, what you're going to do is double click on the hard drive in the Publish Services, and the first thing it's going to ask you for is the description. You can put this in or not, it's optional. And I'm going to go ahead and type in Lightroom Exports. The next thing is, where is it going to save those? You can select any one of these options. If you select specific folder, it's going to let you actually browse to a different folder. So for instance, if you want your exports to be on an external hard drive, you can simply select a specific folder and then browse to that external hard drive. So for instance, if I wanted to put them here, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave them set up on the desktop. And then it wants to know what it's going to name the subfolder, so I'm going to call this Lightroom Exports. The next thing is, am I going to rename those files? And I'm actually not going to, because I renamed my files on the way in. So if you wanted to rename those files, you could rename them any sequence of different things that you wanted to. We're going to go ahead and leave it as file name right now. You can also export videos if you want to. We're going to go ahead and skip that for the moment. Next is, what is the file size and settings? You can select any type of settings that you want here. I'm going to go ahead and leave mine at JPEG. I am going to push them to 100% quality because I want them to look really, really good. These are going to be for printing later on, possibly to a print service, so I want to go ahead and have as much room as possible. I'm not going to resize my files, and I'm not worried about resolution because that's going to be handled by the print service. I'm also not going to do any output sharpening because, again, I've done the sharpening I want to do inside of Lightroom, so I don't want to do any external sharpening. Metadata, I'm not really going to do all of the metadata. I'm going to do copyright only, and I'm not going to do a watermark. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now, if you look over here, you will actually see Lightroom Exports. So I'm in a particular collection, and I'm going to select some files that I actually want to push to that collection. So I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to hold down my Control key and select this one, and this one, and this one, this one, and this one, and that one, and that one. So those are the ones that I actually want to export. So I'm going to drag all of them over and drop them on top of that Lightroom Exports. Try that one more time. There we go. So you see the stack, so I'm going to go ahead and let go. There's a total of 8. Now, if after that I decide there's some more I actually want to drop, I can drop those independently. So you don't have to do them as a stack. You can drop them independently if you want to. Once I'm ready to do the export, then I'm going to go ahead and double click here. And it's going to show me the ones it's going to export. And all I have to do is come up here and click Publish. And you'll see it start the process here. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and when it's done, I'll turn it back on. Okay, so we're done. So now that those have been published, what I want to do is go look for them. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to my desktop. And I'm looking for a folder called Lightroom Exports. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And you will see all of those pictures that I just exported. Now, what I wanted to also show you is that if I make changes inside of Lightroom, I can update these photographs without having to re-export them. So I'm going to go back into Lightroom, and I'm going to go back to the collection where those are, and I'm just going to pick one that I know I exported. In this case, we'll do this first one. And I'm going to go ahead and open that one, and what I'm going to do in the Develop module is I'm going to actually change this one to a black and white. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply click on black and white. You'll notice it automatically went to a black and white. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to bump the contrast a little bit. So there's what I've got. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that down a little, and push that up a little bit. So now I have developed this one as a black and white. And then I'm going to go back to library. And once I get back to the library grid, you'll notice that if you see that photograph in the library grid, it's black and white now. Well, when I published it in color. So if I go back over to the Publish Services again, you'll notice it is black and white here. So if I hit Publish again, what it's going to do is it's going to update the published collection. So it's going to look at all of those photographs and see what changes have been made to those photographs and update them as the JPEG. So now it's updating the service. And when I go back over to this folder, you'll notice that that particular picture is now a black and white instead of a color picture. So if I again decide at some point that, oh, I don't like that in black and white, I think I'd rather have that one back in color, all I have to do is go back to the finals, go back to that shot, go to Develop, change the snapshot back to color, go back to Library, go back to the grid, and then I'm going to go back into my Publish Services and I'm going to publish again. And at this point it will update that photograph one more time with the changes that I've made in the Develop module. Okay. And now when I go back to that folder one more time, now that photograph is in color again. So it's just that simple to publish photographs to a folder on your hard drive and also to update those. If you have any questions, please feel free to see my Facebook page, Photo Training by Janet Hughes. Thanks again.